past 11. This is Orange 94.5 FM, the juicer station. Welcome to Setting the Record Straight on this dial. This is where we set in proper perspective issues that affect the polity. On the show this morning, I've got with me the Special Assistant to the Ondo State Governor on Media, Gbenga Akinmoyo, a barrister at law. Gbenga, good to have you on the show.
AKA
Garo.
Garo. Good morning to our listeners at home. It's a pleasure being here again this Wednesday morning.
Okay. Now, I also have here in the studios a Special Assistant to the Ondo State Governor on Communications, Yinka Salad Akintero. Good to have you on the show.
Greetings at home. I bring you special greetings for my dear self too.
All right. My name is Adeolu Boyega, your regular host on the show. Now, we're still talking politics because this is something that affects everyday life. Elections or not, politics abound every day. In our places of work, even in the church, politics is something we can't do away with. And so we're still going to talk politics on the show this morning. Yeah, Garo, Salad, both of you belong to the People's Democratic Party. And to some people, what do you still want to talk about? You lost in that election. What happened?
Did you say we lost?
Yeah.
No, we came second. We didn't lose. And in any event, it's a contest where 28 parties took place. It's evident that only one was going to win. We're only going to have one governor-elect. The only problem, of course, is that if you go into a contest free, fair, credible, you expect that you are given a fair crack of the whip. You're given the opportunity to display your wares and let, of course, those who are to make decisions make informed decisions. We would say that our cake was half-baked when the flag was waved for the start.
Are you saying you were not prepared? You were not prepared for that election?
We're saying that we went into a contest where you had to use all your physical limbs, your hands and your feet, but our hands were tied behind our back.
So why did you go
And
into
it
the
made it
election?
difficult. You see, it's best to have gone in and then lodge your complaints under the rules than not to have gone in at all.
All right. I want us to talk about Mr. Governor. On Friday, we saw a visibly angry governor. And interestingly, on Sunday, after the results were announced, the governor congratulated the winner. Is it safe to assume that the governor already had a change of position?
Once again, I stand as a member of the People's Democratic Party in the state of Ondo, and I'm proud of our leader, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, who has led us for close to 8 years as governor and leader of our party in this state. He showed professionalism, he showed that he's a statesman, he showed that he has the love of the people of this state, and it's imperative that after his tenure, that Ondo State continues and doesn't go up as an inferno. We saw in the disposition of Mr. Governor on Friday during the World Press Conference, intense animation. We saw a governor who, for the first time probably in 8 years, went public and displayed his anger. And rightly so, because you have a contest where the umpire is given the impression that everything is okay. But the umpire was the orchestrator of the wrongdoing. And if you are an umpire and you realize your error in time, then you self-amend. If it's drawn to your attention, then it would be sheer arrogance for you to say, well, I'm going to overlook that and I'm going to go ahead anyway. And that's what we saw in Mr. Governor on Friday when he came to that World Press Conference. And he put all the cards on the table, that these are the reasons in law and in politics and in logic and in fair play and justice, that these are the reasons why we're not saying give us an undue advantage. What we're saying is give us a level playing field, and let everyone have an opportunity to, as I said earlier, display their wares. But INEC was stuck in their position, rigid in their position, we would say, because there was ample time for a postponement. And he gave a charge, at least to our own members, that we should go out and have a peaceful election, and that's what we had. And so when the contest was over and a winner was declared, it behoved the governor to again rise to professionalism, to show why he's a father of the state, why he's a leader of still the best party in the state, the PDP, and did and conducted his civil duty, his protocol duty, to congratulate the winner without raising issues about how the contest went. We're all living witnesses to what happened on Saturday at the elections. We're all living witnesses.
Let's go to
but Mr. Governor did his job and did it exemplary.
Salan, what's your assessment of the whole process?
You see, I have remained silent for quite some time now during this interview, just because I think there's more to it than meets the eye. I want to first congratulate or thank my leader for what he did on Friday, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko. That was a very, 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 very good show of leadership. The Yorubas will always say, "Èèyàn burúkú nínú máa lọ àárẹ̀ bínú tí ò ní bí." If for some reason you get pissed off by a thing, there's need for you to just say it as it is. The man on Friday came out and told us publicly that INEC has just not been fair. And that is the second time during this November election, or during this period of campaigning, that INEC had shown visible disobedience to law and order.
If you had won the election, will you still be giving INEC the hard knocks?
Again, if we had won the election, we will go back to say, man, you tried this, you tried that, you put others on our path, you put stones on our path. To God be the glory, we scaled them through, and we are alive and well. But be that as it may, the fact that Mr. Governor came back on Sunday to say, congratulations to the winner, tells you who Mimiko is as a person. He is an individual who believes in the rule of law, who believes in peace, who believes in coexistence. So he does not see any reason why he should not congratulate Barrister Rotimi Akeredolu of the OPC. I want to say this process has come. I'm not too sure if it has gone, because when any election takes place, people are often filled with joy when a winner emerges. We are living witnesses this day that there was no particular jubilation, celebration, rejoicing in any of the local governments, maybe apart from our. In fact, the one we saw on TV showing the jubilant people around the winner was one thing that might look like an orchestrated thing. It still tells me there is more to this election than we have all seen. And let's look forward to what happens tomorrow, what happens day after tomorrow, and what happens in the immediate future of this state.
With your last statement, is that an indication that you're going to the tribunal to challenge the result of this election?
Well, I am sure that our people, when I say our people, the stakeholders, major stakeholders in this party, are taking a good look at the results of the election. They're looking at the reality. From the very beginning, what did INEC do? INEC got a court judgment, or got court judgments and decided to pick one, which was one of the very early ones. He left the one that came after that one in his decision to choose our candidate for us. The second one was the fact that INEC came out to say we should move right 24 hours after the name of our candidate, Eritrea Jegede, had just been given to us legitimately. Now, we're taking a look at what is INEC's participation in all this. What has actually happened on this D-Day, the influence of various inducements at every stage. We'll take a good look at it and say, okay, I think the party will come up categorically. In fact, they came out with a thing. We remember our national secretary writing to us to say this election to him or to the party at the national level looks like a sham. and we might just cancel and request for a cancellation of the election.
But do you think approaching the tribunal is necessary?
There's no other way to do it.
There's no other way. That's what election or what electoral law says. That's the only part to get out of
I'm
any
asking
major
that
law.
because while we started the show, Garo said something that for every election there will always be a winner and a loser. Now, if a winner emerged on Saturday, don't you think we should just let the sleeping dog lie?
No, by me, maybe before Garo says a thing like that, on that, I will say, from my own point of view, a winner must be seen to have emerged legitimately and without any recourse to doubts. So I think what we are saying is, are we taking a look again at the legitimacy of the winner? Are we looking at the reality of the fact that the winner emerged in his real definition of emergence? So I think, as a matter of fact, our party is looking at the result, taking a look at the totality of the election and saying, and people even happy if it's truly the winner that emerges. Some people are cold. A whole lot of the majority of our people are cold. It's just like they have sold their birthright, and why? So people, our party is in order by saying, let's look at it. And if the tribunal is our way out, we hit the tribunal.
There's
Alright,
actually a lot of things that hinge on whether PDP as a party go to the tribunal or not. This particular election has been monitored by a lot of people, not just in the southwest of Nigeria, but indeed in Nigeria as a country. And in fact, a lot of international observers are looking at how our process of elections are progressing or indeed regressive. Under the current administration, there's been a very close monitoring of what has been happening from places like Kogi, Bayelsa, going into Edo elections just before and the one that we had on Saturday. And of course, there are two elections coming up again very soon, that of Osun and Ekiti. And what a lot of people are saying is, the things that happened in the previous ones that were not challenged, if they are not challenged and they are indeed wrong, and you allow them to pass by, they become a norm. So what people are saying, and I've been listening to a lot of commentators on this issue of, will you challenge? It may not so much be the monetization that took place on the day, but you have to highlight those things. It may not so much be the tying of the hands of one party and making the contest unfair, in quotes. It may actually be a challenge of the conduct of the umpire itself that necessitates a decision being taken that we have to bring this to jurisprudence. Because if you don't, it then becomes a norm. I wrote about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when we could see on the horizon what was going to happen. This is what you call technical rigging. And that's the position of our party pre-elections. This is technical rigging. You see a candidate that it's so intimidating, you're not going to be able to face him at the elections. So what you do is get him out before the elections itself. Now, if that is within the rules, if it's within the rules to do, then no problems. But if it's outside the rules, it becomes illegal. If it's permitted by the umpire, it becomes challengeable. And those are the things that the party, the candidates, and the stakeholders are going to be looking at. Because it will be better for the development of our electoral process if we can iron out those kind of issues so that it doesn't become the norm if it ought not to be.
All right, Binya, one constant issue that has been on the lips of your party men has been the inducement, the monetization of the whole process. But some people say it's the case of the highest bidder, that you're also all guilty of what you accuse the APC of.
Well, we've not accused anybody. In actual fact, we have not accused anybody. What we have observed has been observed by even the dedicated and the registered observers. I listened to Malaki of the HDCR this morning when he was talking about what the observers who were in Ondo State saw. They were singing the song Edibo Esebe, which translates to vote and cook soup. Now, that's the first time in the history
Who
of
were those
elections.
singing that song?
This was the song that was being sung
By who?
by Cam